Right, so welcome back all of you to the second episode now of the 2025 season. I've gone forward about a month here now from where I last left you off, and I made a fair few changes here actually. I mean, not in terms of sort of any trades by any means. I'm very happy with sort of how our organisation has been looking, but more so with sort of promotions, demotions. There've been a few injuries as well, unfortunately, which hasn't really helped. As you can see, Hanayas isn't in the lineup here, but we have brought up Jack Moss. He's only started 3 games, but he's hit 3 home runs in 3 games. Um, he started absolutely lights out, so that's really good to see from him. Um, as well as that, we got obviously Schofield Sam playing really well here. Obviously, did come up earlier in the year. He's played 34 games now with a 140 OPS plus, which is really good to see there. And Daniel Susach as well, really starting to play well now. He's starting every day at catcher. I mean, if he's putting up a 139 OPS plus like this, there's no reason I cannot start him really. But as well as that, as you can see, Pacheco has finally been called up. Obviously, that was the big trade we made in the off season, was to bring him in. He started, he's playing well in AAA. I thought I'd bring him up, see what he can do really. Because I have made a couple of little changes. If we go to the injured list as well, see, Esther Ruiz is out, unfortunately, which isn't that big of an issue really because he has been awful this year. So I've been starting Cody Bellinger at centre field, which isn't, he's not really a downgrade by any means, especially he's playing better than Ruiz has this year. He's an above league average hitter. But so Ruiz is out. He seemed to have fallen off this year quite a fair bit. Hernandez is out, which is a big shame. Obviously, he's, been one of our best bats. But hopefully he can return in a couple of weeks and he'll be absolutely fine. To get straight back into the lineup really. Grant Holman's out as well. He's been below league average fit wise, but we're hoping he does turn it around a little bit. But yeah, so in terms of sort of how the team's looking, Matt Chapman as well, 141 OPS plus now. Really good for really good year from him really. Cody Bellinger as well, above league average bat, playing good centre field defence. Really good to see. Obviously, just had to bring him in when Estru Ruiz has been out. But if Bellinger does continue to be this good, realistically, I don't see a reason why Estru Ruiz would come straight back into the lineup, to be honest. So hopefully Cody Bellinger can keep it up. Brenton Doyle's been great. As well at right field, as well as Matt Gorski's been 117 OPS plus. Obviously, they haven't played a massive amount. They haven't had a massive amount of plate appearances, but they've been good nonetheless. If we have a little look through all of the lineup really here, we've only got 3 players hitting below league average, and their bench. I mean, our backup catcher now since Susach has been starting. Langoliers, Oswald Cabrera as well hasn't been good at all. The only thing is with that, Hernandez will be back and he can sort of head straight back down. He can head back down to AAA, and then Zach Geloff as well has been rather disappointing at third base. But certainly a position. We can always send him back down, bring someone else up. But as well as that, it's not a massive issue for us. It's not like he's our starting third baseman. Matt Chapman has got a 141 OPS plus, so realistically we shouldn't be seeing too much of Geloff. But as well as that, with the pitching, Isaiah Lowe's been really good for us here. 58 fit minus already. He's really turning out to be a great pitcher for us. Hopefully he can keep these numbers up. Obviously his stuff is looking to improve. So is his movement control. All of this is going to go up, and he's already phenomenal, so hopefully we do see that from him. Carson Montgomery as well, looking really good here. Great start to season with him. But so obviously I played through all of June. We are leading the division as well now, so we've got the Angels 3 games back. We're playing very well, but no one else in our division is really having a great season by any means. I mean, the Angels are obviously above 500, but it's not a great season from them at all. And then as well as that, the Astros have really taken a dip. So the Rangers, the Seattle Mariners are not being good again. So really really surprising to see. Everything is the Mariners were great last year, right? If I can see history. No, they haven't been good. They haven't been good. Not even once. I don't know what's gone wrong with the Mariners here. I mean, they've been horrendous. They got Julio Rodriguez though, so I mean, what a centre fielder he is here on an 18 million a year contract till 2032 is really, 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 really great contract to have him on. And then they got another further 2-year contract extension from him as well to take him up to 33 at 18 million a year. I mean, wow. I mean, to get this player back from that contract is phenomenal. We really do need to start looking to sort of make some longer term contracts with our guys as well. However, I'm trying not to go into it too soon, so I don't want to offer a big long term contract to someone and then they fall off. Obviously, we're kind of lucky at the moment. We're not really hamstrung to anyone in a long term contract other than Chapman. Where I say long term, he's only got 4 more years left. Take him up to 36, and he's been more than worth the contract so far. Obviously, $7.5 million a year. He's on schedule to put up 6.6 WAR at the moment. So, but what we will do is we'll probably just go through. I'll probably play this Toronto series here. We'll play the Toronto and Detroit series, and I'll probably skim through to the draft then. So if we got Alex Wood up against Zilo here first. 5-3 loss, not good to see. Geloff hit a home run though, obviously he hasn't been playing well. Workman as well has been 128 OPS plus at shortstop. And look at this defense. This defense is really, really strong. From Gage Workman here. Really, really great shortstop. Yeah, Zilo had a terrible game here actually. 3 innings pitched, 4 runs given up. Carson Montgomery up against Ricky Tiedemann here. 4-1 loss as well. Not good to see. 2 hits for Geloff. And then Jose Barrios got a 3-0 loss there, I think I saw. 6-0 win, sorry. What am I on about? 3 hits for Workman. Again, keeps on improving here. 3 hits for Pacheco. So Pacheco's actually started off really, really strongly here, actually. Playing at right field. I mean, whether he's, good enough to play at that position long term. I mean, he's got a great arm. His range is kind of cutting it a little bit fine. But obviously the only thing is with that, our infield, we have no issues in our infield whatsoever. I mean, Workman's a long-term piece for us at shortstop. Obviously, we've got Chapman as well for the next 4 years, who with a 142 OPS plus, there's no real replacing him, if I'm honest. And then obviously Hernandez at second base. There's just no real space for Pacheco in the infield, if I'm honest, especially with Jack Moss as well coming up and playing first base there. So we skip through this Detroit Tigers series as well. So who is that? And waivers, so it's Gardea and Adrian Martin as we move down. So yeah, Joelvis Del Rosario is someone who's in a massive leap. He so historically, I mean, he signed to the Pirates as an international free agent. I'm not entirely sure when he selected off waivers by the Oakland A's in 2022. Obviously in May he had a massive jump, but he's really really pitching well here in AAA. So hopefully he's someone who can make the leap at some point if he continues to improve. Right, so this series here against Detroit. Personal message, mid-season review of goals. Okay, fantastic. I mean, I don't know. Acquire an all-star. I don't think that's a massive necessity for us. I mean, we have plenty of potential all-stars as it is. draft record that won't come to fruition. It's starting to come to fruition now, actually. Obviously, Carson Montgomery, Jack Moss, some of those players starting to break into the team really way earlier than I would have thought. International amateur free agent fines, that won't come to fruition for a while yet. So Angeles hit the cycle. Isilo hasn't really jumped up at all there. We have to sort this out at the end of the season. And then the top 10. So the top 10 prospects, we have 3 of the top 10 prospects in the MLB. Obviously, Isilo here is now in the majors. You can see why he's up here as well. Jack Moss as well, looking really, really great. And Paulinho as well. I really do need to take him to take a big step up in AAA. He hasn't been playing very well there at all. So hopefully this contact can jump up, same as the discipline, the home run power can all make a bit of a jump, and then we can move him into the majors at some point, perhaps the start of next year or even in September. So Ross Stripling, JP Sears, 4-3 loss. Okay, that's not good to see. Zach Jackson hasn't been quite as good. Hasn't been nowhere near as good this year as our closer, but obviously he's been so good in the past. I do want to keep him in there for now. Esther Ruiz is back from injury though. I'm going to put him in rehab assignment in the minors for now. Hopefully he can sort of pick up his hitting a little bit. So Casey Mize up against Waldichuk. 3 days. Leave Jackson as it is. It's only 3 days. They come back absolutely fine. So the Angels are now only 1.5 games back, which isn't good to see. So this game here, Workman hit a home run, 2 hits for Workman, hit for Doyle, 2 for Sam, Muncy and Pacheco there. Very good win, 9-1. And then to finish off this series, Isilo pitching, 5-2 win, fantastic. Great to see Isilo making a bit of a return here. I mean, he gave up 2 runs, but he pitched 6 innings, which is good to see. Obviously, that's the thing now with Montgomery and Lowe. It gives us a bit more potential for, our starters to go way deeper into games. Obviously, with this, I say higher stamina. But the ability they do have. Carson Montgomery, what's his stamina like? 55 as well. But, I'm more than happy with them. They're going to be the 2 pitchers at the front of our starting rotation for a long, long time yet. For many years to come. I can't see anyone else sort of, coming in and replacing them at the front of the rotation. But what I will do, so how far are we off of the first year player draft? So I'll finish this off, I'll get to the draft, and then we'll run through that. Right, so we're at the draft here now. Before we jump into that, I just want to say, it's really, really to see the main players I would hope to be playing well have been. Pacheco, 145 OPS plus since he came up. Obviously only over 8 games here, but really, really good to see. He started off hot. As well as that, Daniel Susak as well are now everyday catcher, 140 OPS plus still, playing really, really well. 7 home runs over 35 games as well, which is really, really good to see. As well as that, Schofield Sam still playing well, 118 OPS plus. Bellinger as well, still positive, above league average OPS plus. Jack Moss is now up to 5 home runs in 12 games with a 231 OPS plus. Started off very, very hot for us. Gage Workman as well, now 132 OPS plus. Really, really strong year from him. And then Max Chapman, still a 136 OPS plus. Really, really strong year from our batting lineup. And then Brenton Doyle as well has actually been great since he's come in. Above league average hitter, and that's all we really wanted from him at the minimum. I mean, obviously you would hope for but more. You never turn that down. But I really think we've managed to fix our outfield, because obviously coming into this year the outfield was a major issue. Schofield Sam has obviously stepped in at left field and had 118 OPS plus and has been great for us. I think he's only platooning though. But, you know, he was someone who was drafted by the Oakland A's in the 12th round in 2019. And, you know, he's managed to make it through the minors all the way up to the majors here, and he's really is performing. And then as well as that, obviously, Brenton Doyle's been brought in. He's been great. Cody Bellinger as well, above league average bat at centre field, was playing good defence. And then on top of that as well, obviously we have Matt Gorski with a 114 OPS plus, who's platooning, and as well as Isaiah Pacheco as well, who's been playing really well actually, in his limited time since coming up. So I'd definitely say, you know, our outfield is a position that's, you know, really been sorted out and really has been quite well, you know, fixed as it is now. And obviously going off OPS and WRC plus, it's only these three players now that are below league average. But Zach Geloff is someone who's, you know, is actually starting to pick up of late. Obviously, he's had a 5-game hitting streak at least, with a couple of home runs over the past 5. So at least he's starting to pick it up. And Susak does seem to have dropped a little bit. Does he? OPS, why is the OPS plus at 101? Because we won it at the major leagues. Wow, okay, so I've been looking at this all wrong. So Max Muncy has been awful. Geloff, Oswaldo Cabrera, okay, so you're going to have to ignore pretty much everything I've been saying here. But obviously a lot of these guys, you know, they've been in the majors the whole year, so it hasn't made much of a difference. Just a couple of those guys. Oh no. That's not good to see. Right, so Salinas as well has been below league average, same as Waldichuk and Krismat. Maybe we'll look to make a change with Krismat potentially. He's been really quite poor actually. I mean, he's been a positive ERA plus at least, but you know, if we can get someone to put up a positive fit minus, hopefully the ERS will creep up with the defense as well. Morohod's been really good actually this year. I see Carson Montgomery and Isaiah Lowe have been our two best starters. Carson Montgomery's been really good here. But yeah, we'll jump straight into the rookie draft here. I don't know what my plans are. I haven't had a good look at the draft at all, if I'm honest. Also, I know we have plenty of money, and we do have the 30th pick though. So, you know, going into this, you know, look at a lot of these top guys will not be around by the time we go to select. Caden Powell looks quite good as a second baseman, really. Casey Cunningham looks like a, you know, passable shortstop here. Defense, really good hitter. Who else have we got? Judd Utamark. So yeah, not a bad draft. But none of those guys will be available when we go to select here. So we've got Vaughn Necker, who doesn't seem too bad, but he is a first baseman realistically. You know, the infield range is only at 45. Decent infield arm, but he not really going to play anywhere other than first base, if I'm honest. 17-year-old Austin Killingsworth here. Not a great personality. Cannon Golden. I don't mind this. John Lash, this picture here. I don't mind him at all. I think he looks quite good. Curveball. Great curveball and change up. The screwball's never really going to be great. Decent enough fastball. Anybody else? So who would our scout recommend actually? It's not something I've used enough. I mean, he recommends this Vaughn Necker. Do I take him though just for the bat? OSA is really low on him compared to our scout. He might be someone who I could even take perhaps next round if he's still available. You know what? I might leave that for now. Let's go for a starting pitcher. Luke Papano, who is a two-way player again. And someone who almost seems like he's a much better batter than he is a pitcher. Outfielder though, corner outfielder. Alright, let's go to batting potential here. Dylan Atkins as well. Atkins seems like a very good bat. What are his defensive ratings though? Another corner outfielder. Michael Torres, decent defender. Here could play passable centre field and the corner outfields spots. You know what? The thing is, you would hope with these guys that they'll be sticking around. I might take Luke Papano with our first round pick, because I do think that Adkins would be able to. It's whether Adkins would be available, because he's the best bat here realistically, but it's if he would be available next selection really. Can I see that being the case? I'm not entirely sure. No, I'm going to go Papano and hope Adkins is here, and he is. Fantastic. I'm also going to take Dylan Adkins with the second round selection, and then the third round pick. Obviously this, is exactly why you go in and you check your ratings, because there will be, pitchers who are very, very good with the bat, and realistically they were better with the bat than any of the batters that were available realistically. So very happy to make those selections. Michael Torres I might go triple outfield, which may seem a little bit silly. He doesn't seem too bad at all. Let's go by pitching potential here. Brett Crosland, no. Trenton Shaw doesn't seem too bad at all actually. Pitching seems very, very poor here in this class actually. I'll probably select the first 5 picks here, I'd imagine. Well, let's go back to the batting potential. I'm going to go with Michael Torres, I think, because he plays good centre field defence. Cam Caminiti. Bless me. Sorry about that. I have no idea how loud that was. Boston Kellner here. He's someone who can play pretty much anywhere other than, centre field, shortstop, with a decent bat. It is an impossible signing though. However, we do have the money. But is that worth it? I don't think so. You know what, for the last selection I might go with a pitcher here, if any of the ones I like are still available. Let's go starter. Kibru Pam. I really don't mind this actually. If the control does come up, it could be a very good picture. Cardenas doesn't seem too bad. Brett Cosland I don't mind. You know, I think I'm going to go with Kibru Pam here with this selection, or John. Ooh. Let's have a look at some of these other ones actually. Jax Bishop, Zach Dart. I do tend to go, if I'm going to go with a picture here, I do tend to go for lower control over any of the other ratings. So I do tend to see that can come up a lot easier than your movement, for example. I mean, the stuff you can see it sort of rise with their velocity going up in development, but I do tend to go over a low control picture sort of over anything else, especially when it's, you know, hard to make a pitching selection at this point in the draft. You know, it's not a very good pitching class by any means. But I will select Kibru Pam there and go through to the 6th round. And I'll finish off the draft. I'll go through and make the rest of the selections, and I'll jump back to you after that, and we can sort of run through everything I did do with that. Right, so we're back and we finished the draft off there. I've offered all of my offers out to the first 5 round picks. If I'm honest though, going into if I go to history, to the draft history here, there wasn't really anyone that I really need to go and talk about, if I'm honest. It just was a really, really poor draft class. There wasn't much available at all. I mean, I drafted this guy here, shortstop. Another shortstop here. Just because they can potentially have positional flexibility in the infield. But there just wasn't a whole lot available, really. Obviously, you see those later round picks there. They were really quite poor. The draft class here, you know, it's just terrible. Obviously, I know we had the 30th round selection, so there wasn't, you know, much top tier talent by the time it came to us. But I thought that was just a very, very poor draft class there. But what we will do is we will skim through the rest of July. We'll actually go to the All-Star game here first. I wonder if we had many All-Stars. So Matt Chapman out for 6 to 7 weeks. That is not what I wanted to see at all. Wow. Especially when he's having a season like this one. That could absolutely kill us in oh wow. So how long is he out for here? 6 to 7 weeks, so we're gonna have to put him on the 10-day IL. Wow. So who have we got that could even come up? I mean, we got Davison De Los Santos now, but I wouldn't even say it's necessarily that we necessarily need a third baseman. Obviously, we got Zach Geloff who can come in and play there. Wow. What to do? I might even potentially get Isaac Pacheco playing a fair bit of third base, actually, which may make things easier when deciding who to bring up. Connor Capel has been horrendous. Really, it's just been awful this year. Ruiz has been great in AAA, though. Well, I say he hasn't. He's been below league average, actually. Obviously, the numbers look great here. Obviously, it's just a very batter-friendly league. DeLuca's been great. I do know that. 164 OPS plus. Wow. De Los Santos, though, would be nice to be able to bring up. Shane Paulina hasn't been great. Right, so what I will do, actually, is I will go through and sort this out. So, Zach Geloff or Paulino. So, Paulino, Pacheco, sorry. So, I will actually just move Zach Geloff into third base here to play against righties. What is he like? Not quite as good against righties, if I'm honest. I will do this just to sort of chop and change the lineup just a little. Wow, okay, Chapman being out makes it, it's actually a real shame. And it makes a big difference to our lineup, if I'm honest. So Pacheco, what is he much better against righties? Yeah, so he should not be batting here. Screw it, that will be okay. And against lefties, I think that'll be okay just to bring Pacheco in at third base, and then if we generate the depth chart so he can go to every eighth. I don't want him playing that much. Cabrera's been awful as well. I don't want him. I say he's picking up a little bit more than he was. And then if we do this, started tired every sixth. I just don't know who to bring up, if I'm honest. Oh wow, okay. He has had a massive jump. Okay, current stuff's up to 70, potential stuff up to 75. Potential control ratings and current up to 55. Joelvis Del Rosario is now looking like he could potentially break into that sort of. Obviously, I know I said that no one can really break into our top two starters. Joelvis Del Rosario certainly could, because he looks phenomenal. Do I want to bring up now? He hasn't played much AA and AAA. But he is, he's got a 55 fit minus and a 200 ERA plus. Do I just bring him straight up? I'm very tempted. How is Sears doing? Below league average FIP. Chrismat. Okay, wow. So I think that's actually worked out quite well. I'm going to send Chrismat down. Screw it. I'm going to waive Chrismat. And then I'm going to bring up Joelvis Del Rosario. If I go to my pitching here, where is he? He's going to come in and he's going to pitch fourth to start off with. What is his stamina like? 55 stamina, 60 home runners. Okay, wow. Our starting rotation now with Azilo, Montgomery, Del Rosario, we've still got Waldichuk and Sears who've had great seasons, in the past. Obviously Sears was an all-star as a starter a couple years back. This pitching rotation has to be, one of the best in the league. I know Salinas hasn't been great this year, but we know he can be much better than this. As well, the same as Adam Lucas as well. 1.7 more last year, and Zach Jackson can be much better than this as well. Obviously, being the reliever of the year last year. There's just so much talent in this pitching department here that we do have. And then when it comes to the lineup as well, we've been so much better with the bat than we have in previous seasons. A few players here not batting quite as well, but obviously, Jack Moss has still got a 211 OPS plus batting for us. Obviously, you've got Pacheco, who's been our second best bat. Obviously, both of them haven't played a whole deal. We've got Susak, Workman, Gorski, Schofield Sam, and when Hanias comes back, we can chuck as well to Cabrera down. When Chapman comes back, potentially we can knock Muncy down or whoever we bring up here. Realistically, I honestly have no idea. I don't think we need another outfielder. It has to be an infielder, really. But Can Angeles come up? Potentially just as an option. Estri Ruiz has got to come back up, but I will leave him for the next couple of weeks, hopefully to pick his bat up just a little bit more than he has. Gardea has been really, really good down AAA here. Might consider bringing him up at some point. Anglers might well be the option here. Obviously, DeLuca's been fantastic, but I don't know who he would really replace. I mean, Brenton Doyle, if he starts dropping a fair bit below league average, I will just send him down and bring up DeLuca. But obviously DeLuca, I mean, he only played 8 games at the start of this year, but in the past he hasn't been great for us in the MLB. So hopefully, his contact rating comes up a little bit up to 50 here. Maybe we think about bringing him up, but I'm going to bring up Angeles for now, just as an infield option for us. You know what? I'm okay with that. We did say every 8th here. And then against lefties. What's he like against lefties? Even better against lefties. They're probably going to want to start him against lefties as well here. Wow, no. So we go every 6th here. Right, I'm more than happy with that. So we'll get through to the All-Star game at least. Hanais is off the injury list already. Okay, so what I will do is I will send down Cabrera, I believe, who's been very similar to... You know what? Actually, I'm going to send down Max Muncy. Just because Cabrera has a 2-3-1 BABIP, so he's getting a little bit of bad luck as well along the way. So as much as he's not playing well, he has had a little bit of bad luck with the BABIP. So I'll send him down for the time being. Injury list. Hanais can come in. I mean, obviously now when we go through to do the lineups, Hanais is going to come in here, and Hanais is going to hit lead off. And Hanais, where is he? He is here. Every 6th. Very, very happy to see Hanais back. I mean, I did consider, putting him in the minors, but I don't think there's any need for that with Hanais. Obviously, he's such a good hitter here. He's hitting 320. I don't think we'll see much issue with him, hopefully, at least. So am I happy with that? So Brenton Doyle, though, do I want to leave? Yeah, I'll leave him. I'll leave him here. I'll leave him there for the time being. And we will just get through to the All-Star game here. So we've got Garrett Cole, 8-2 win against the Yankees. Home run for Pacheco and Susac. 2 hits for Hanais in his first game back. Like I said, there was no worry with him whatsoever. Pacheco's continuing to bat really, really well for us here. Waldichuk, 2 runs over 5 innings is good. It's all good with me. So All-Stars. So how many All-Stars have we got? I would imagine, the year we've had, we would have a decent... So we have no starting pitchers from what I can see here. But the first guy here, Morahan, has made his 2nd All-Star game back-to-back years, which is fantastic to see. I believe I'd already added him to the All-Star shortlist. We have no more pitchers this year. But do we have batters? It does look like we do. So Darryl Hernandez has made the All-Star game as well, his first All-Star appearance. Alongside Brooks Lee as well, you know, he's absolutely phenomenal at second base. Not as quite as good of a batter, but for some reason his defense must be phenomenal. And then as well as that, do we have anyone else? So Gage Workman made the All-Star game as well, his first full All-Star appearance. Great to see there from Workman. 130 OPS plus. Playing great defense at shortstop. Is there anyone else we could see in there that, see, you know, made MJ Melendez made one. Adley Rushman, Jimenez, Brooks Lee, Colson Montgomery, Gunnar Henderson, Haskin for the Orioles as well. I never heard of him before. Riley Green, Julio Rodriguez as well, obviously. Ramon Laureano. Okay, so was that a bad trade we have made? Obviously, you know, our corner outfield spots have been an issue for us. Obviously, we traded away Laureano earlier. He's a free agent at the end of this year though, and he has been an all-star this year. You know, hitting 141 OPS plus, putting up 2.1 WAR already at this point in the season. So that's actually turned out very well for the Angels there. Picking up Laureano from us. Any other former players? I mean, obviously Ohtani makes it here. He is injured though. He's had a terrible year at the plate with a 69 OPS plus. Wow, okay. That contract is starting to look pretty shoddy from the Giants if that continues. Kodai Senga, Andrew Painter, anyone else? Nolan Gorman, Jacob Gonzalez, obviously as well, probably the best prospect I may well have ever seen on this game. Michael Harris been great as well. Edwin Arroyo as well here on the Reds. No surprise hit 7.7 more he's scheduled to put up. Very good shortstop as well. Bryson Stott. But yeah, Jacob Gonzalez here. Seems to have fallen off a little bit from what I remember seeing. But obviously, you know, he can still improve here. Very good bat. Jacob Gonzalez, you know. The Brewers are going to have a great player for many years to come here. But we will skip through the rest of July. I'll probably actually jump through a fair bit now, and I'll jump back to you sort of towards the end of the trade deadline. And see if there's many moves we can make. But I wouldn't imagine there's sort of a whole lot we will be doing. You know, I'm very happy with where we're at in regards to our team. Obviously, our starters, ERA, you know, we're second in starters ERA, third in bullpen ERA. Both those can come up. Obviously, Rosario's came in now. The bullpen hasn't been performed to its full potential, I'd say. But, you know, even then, we're third. We can improve a little bit more. And then the bats have been great. There's not really necessarily anything that I'll be looking to, any sort of moves I'm looking to make, unless sort of any big offers come in for any of my players. And I do think it's worth doing. So I'll probably leave it for this trade deadline, but we'll see how it goes at least. But I'll jump back to you probably just sort of around the trade deadline, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we're back and we're at the trade deadline now. So first of all, some bad news. We're not leading the division anymore. Obviously we still have a great record, but the Angels have overtaken us here. Anthony Rendon here again. He's actually hasn't been too bad for them. Obviously he hasn't played many games. Last year he didn't obviously get a complete season in with a 125 OPS plus. This year he's got a 121 OPS plus. It's actually been quite good for them, to be honest. MJ Melendez they've now got as well, who they traded for late last year in the off season. He's been great at catcher for them. As well as that, obviously they still got Katayama who hasn't had as great of a season this year, but he's still been solid. White seems okay, but obviously, they still got Mike Trout, who's not really performing to the set, the ability you'd imagine Mike Trout to be performing at. Only a 121 OPS plus isn't sort of Mike Trout levels. Ty France has been okay. I mean, on the whole, they have a decent team. They just, David Fletcher, wow, 4.4 WAR, scheduled to get, obviously, Ramon Laureano as well. The same here, 144 OPS plus. Unfortunately, we gave him to them because he may be one of the difference makers in them sort of finishing above us this year, which would be a shame if that's the case. But luckily, we are in the wild card as well anyway. But obviously, hopefully, by the end of the season, we will win the division. But what I will say is, I haven't made any moves at all. I just don't really see the need for us to make any moves, really. Obviously, with second and FIP, our pitching has been great. With 7th in bullpen ERA now, which has dropped rather significantly, really, which is a shame. But so going in and looking at it, there's not there's not a whole lot to really complain about. If I'm honest, your man's been sort of close to league average, which is like I say, it's not a shame. He's still above league average, just by a minuscule amount, but not quite as good as last year. But on the whole, we have been very good in the pitching department. And then obviously the major difference this year is our lineup changes we have made a massive difference here, and we've been our lineup's been great, from top to bottom, really. I mean, obviously I say that Escher Ruiz, after having 2 really solid seasons past couple of years, obviously that first year was great from him. 58 stolen bases, 109 OPS plus, 5.1 WAR. Dropped off a little bit for the year after, but he's been negative performing player for us this year. I brought him back up to the majors after his injury, just hoping he can sort of rescue it a little bit. If he can, if he cannot, I will just drop him down and potentially sort of bring him back for spring training next year to see if he can turn it around. Angeles hasn't been great, but he's only had 9 play appearances, so we'll leave him where he is for now. And then obviously Shea Langeliers is a backup. But obviously, other than that, everyone's been a above league average hitter, really, which is really good to see. Obviously Pacheco's came in, he's been great since coming up, obviously in limited time. Same as Jack Moss. Hernandez, though, this year has been great. Really good to see these sort of seasons from our bats. But in terms of sort of an organisational sort of wide sort of check, what I will say is, it's looking really good sort of in the coming years. So some great talents down in the lower end of the minors. Obviously got Yasser Mercedes at centre field here, who can play a half decent centre field as well. In the Dominican Rookie League, as well as Roderick Arias here. If we go into the international complex, obviously we've got Hader, Husman, Cam Brellan as well. Some really solid players. Obviously, they're so young. Whether they turn out or not, we'll see. But it's great to have them down there at least. And then in the Arizona Rookie League as well, we got obviously Caminiti. We changed to a batter. He's been he's looking great, at least in the outfield. But really, it's Papano and Adkins here. I mean, Papano already, he's got a 160 OPS plus in rookie ball here. He's good enough to go up to A ball, but I want to give him the rest of this year in rookie ball before he goes up to start next year. Dylan Adkins as well has already developed a little bit as well. 152 OPS plus. I'd imagine he'll be the same. And the two of these guys, hopefully they can develop together and go up through the minors. Sort of, we're moving up to A ball to start next year. Mullinax has sort of stumbled a little bit at A ball in his first sort of full year in professional baseball, but hopefully, obviously, Adkins and Papano can go up with him next year. They can all sort of start in A ball, because I'm assuming Mullinax, I probably won't move him up. Pineda's gone up. He was great in A ball, so I moved him up. Same as Jose Melendez here. He's seems to be doing well in high A as well here. But it's Lorenzo Carrier here. He was lights out in A ball to start the year. Obviously 164 OPS plus, came up to high A's, had a 175, and now he's gone up to double A, where he is again, been great with the bat. He's a third round pick in 2024. We seem to be hitting on a lot of these draft prospects. Obviously, the reason being for a lot of this is, we have upped our player development budget to the max, and it's really, really helping with our development. But obviously, we've got the first ranked minor league system, and in future years, realistically, if we keep producing players like this, we don't really need to make a whole lot of moves, and we can, challenge for World Series year in and year out, really. Obviously, we've got Hernandez, we've got Jack Moss, Workman, all the players that they were in our minors and sort of came up. Obviously, we traded for Workman, but players that we produced at the cup. We haven't traded for any top major league players by any means, or brought in big free agents. Obviously, other than Chapman, but he was a player who was even at the A's beforehand anyway. Still out for a little while, so hopefully he can come back strong as well. Obviously, Grant Holman here as well, and obviously the rest of the pitching. Azilo, Montgomery, Del Rosario, we got a lot to look forward to, I do think. Obviously, the most of the trades we made have been within the bullpen, and a few sort of other bats, obviously bringing in Pacheco, Gorski, Doyle, but these guys have seem to be working out so far. Obviously Workman has, but obviously he was just an afterthought, really. He was sort of an add-in into the trade that's really turned out, which has been great. Dario Gardera as well is someone I'll be looking to bring up. He's been great in AAA. The only thing is, I'm kind of waiting on an injury really within our bullpen, because there's not really a massive collection of people I look to send down. Herman's been close to league average, but his ERA plus of 1.63, so there's no real need to send him down. And then Salinas, with this pitching profile, I don't think there's any need to send him down. I'd imagine he will turn it around. He does pitch a lot of innings as well, so I'm kind of waiting for a space to become available for Gardea here. We still obviously got JT again here as well. We got Prelander Baroa. We've got some great pitching pieces as well, of obviously still great pieces with the bats. Paulino as well hasn't quite developed or came on as much as I thought he would this year. He's hitting a lot of home runs, but he has been below league average with the bat, and he hasn't really developed at all. I was hoping he would develop a whole lot. Johnny DeLuca as well, been great. He's still an option for us going forward. Max Muncy as well, Castagnosi, Luca Tresh, obviously we sent down. It's been great in AAA. If there becomes a need for him to sort of come up, he can always be an option really there. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with this, like the status of the organisation, and how it's all looking. So I think I'm just happy to go through the trade deadline here and get to the 1st of August. Continue anyway. I don't think there's any real need to make any changes. We did get an offer. Tristan McKenzie, they offered up to us. This is something I would have considered taking. He's on 6.1 million. Not that the money matters to us now, but I wouldn't have wanted to give up Schofield Sam at all. He's been great with the bat. Cole Young, I wouldn't mind giving up. He hasn't really worked out for us. Obviously, he was a big prospect piece we brought in a previous trade. We thought he could turn out very well for us, but he has not. And then Clark Elliott as well. He's been great in AAA actually at centre field. Just doesn't quite have the ratings. As much as that doesn't matter a whole lot if they do produce. You should give them a shot, but there's just not really any space in our outfield as it is anyway, because he would be at the corners, and obviously with Gorski, Doyle, Pacheco, Schofield Sam as well, there's just not a whole lot of room for them really. So what I will do is I will continue through. So we're now at the 1st of August, and so we'll have a little look through the player development here and have a look at how that came on. So Mullinax, as much as he hasn't been performing, he has been improving at least, which is good to see. He's up to a 50 at centre field with the defence. Obviously, the batting profile is still looking very good for him at centre. Contacts came up. Potential eyes gone up as well. Luke Boys, you've got Buelvas there. Jose Melendez has been improving. Obviously, he's got great potential eye. If that eye does come along, he could be potentially a great catch for us down the line. Wheelers. Lorenzo Carey, the power's improving. I don't think I'd ever play him as a centre fielder. As much as the scout was providing that there, he just won't be good enough defensively. Gardet has improved massively, really. His current and potential ratings for stuff movement have gone up, as well as his potential control. That was obviously one player I was saying I'm looking to sort of move up. Gage Workman's improved here. His current contact's gone up, so is his current eye, and he's gone up to a 70 rated shortstop, which is no surprise to see. Obviously, when he had a big, massive sort of boost in his development, it was looking like he could be a great player for us. He didn't quite perform last year with the bat, but this year it's been night and day, really. Massive improvement from him. As well as that, obviously, Hernandez as well now has improved up to 70 overall. I say improved. His potential contact has came down, but his defensive rating at second base has improved, which is good to see. Jack Moss's current contact has improved to up to 70 now. A 70 contact and a 70 home run power. If that discipline gets up to 65, he will be one of the best bats in the league, because those are the ratings you would like, first and foremost. And our scout does believe he can be an elite first baseman. Because obviously, being at first base without the bat, you really got to hope that, being at first base, without the defense, you really got to hope that bat comes along, and his bat is phenomenal. Jack Moss, Susak here as well now, potential power up to 65, and his potential rating up to 65 as well. Wow. As well with him, if he comes up to 60 contact, 65 home run power, and 55 discipline, he's got 118 OPS plus already at catcher, which is phenomenal. If he can keep improving that, at playing at catcher as well, he can be great value to us. Darazo's stuff's gone up to 70, potential stuff up to 70, control up to 55. Really improving sort of month to month here on his development. Holman, Jackson, Junger, Lucas as well. Cole Montgomery's current stuff, potential stuff going up. His control, great to see. Looking like a really good pitcher now. Still got quite a fair bit to develop, but already looking like a great starter for us. Morahan just sort of overall and potential. Salinas as well is actually improving his current and potential movement. As much as he's not had a great season so far, at least he is developing and improving. He's still only 24 years of age. Got plenty of T control left with him. And then as well, just sort of a few players here we're finishing off scouting. July's number 1 starter is Adrian Martinez in AAA. I wonder actually how our AAA teams have been getting on. So if we go down to AAA. So we're 65 and 31 in AAA. AA not being so good. High A being great. A ball we've been great as well. First, Dominican Rookie League have not been very good, and then the Rookie Ball Arizona Rookie League we haven't been great by any means. But obviously I imagine AAA we kind of have a bit of a bottleneck up here. We probably have far too many good players for than what we need. So potentially over the off season or sort of later on, over the off season, obviously we can't train anyone now. We could look at moving a few of these guys on, potentially sort of package a few of them together for an even better play. Rather than having 60 players that are good enough to make the majors, we'd much rather have 30, 35 that are of much better quality. So I mean, I say 60. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I say that we have 40 in here, and we have a fair few more who would be good enough to make the majors. If in our first year with the A's, a lot more players, if they're of this quality, they will be getting an opportunity. So, I will probably end the episode there, and then in the next episode we'll finish out the regular season, and then we'll probably move on to the playoffs in the episode after that, if we do make them, which I'm very hopeful of. So and hopefully we can actually make it a little bit further this year. Obviously, last postseason was very disappointing, so I will leave it off there. And obviously, do drop some comments down below. I really do appreciate it. Just let me know if where you could see me going with the team. I'm kind of stuck in a position where we're just sort of waiting for all of these young players to develop and perform. Really, there's not a whole lot that needs to be done in terms of bringing players in. I'm very, very happy where the team's at. Obviously, we get off, and we still got Matt Chapman and Holman as well as De Los Santos here as well in AAA, and Shoemaker as well is actually starting to improve a fair bit. I mean, he's 27, but he's been great in AAA, just as a sort of utility piece if we ever happen to need him. But obviously got Marauders down here as well. I keep forgetting about the strength of the organisation. From where we were at the start till now. With the best minor league system and a really, really strong young core in the majors. The development's really starting to kick off. Obviously going in and sort of changing all our personnel to really, really worked a treat with our development budget. But let me know any tips down below if where you like to see the team head, any players you like me to check out by any means. But or perhaps any ideas for any trades I could make. But I'll show you the statistics just 1 second. This is sort of how the league's looking in terms of sort of the bats, and as well as that, the pitching leaders here as well. But what I will do is I'll end it there, and I'll jump back to you in the next episode, and we'll get the season finished off.